So I have a question here that involves a right angle triangle. It's telling us that the measurements are in centimetres and the area is that. So under the what do we know is the area of a triangle is equal to half times the base length times the height if it's a right angle triangle. So we know that fact is true. It says find the perimeter of the triangle. Now the question involves x, so under the u what, h says help yourself. So we help ourselves by calling something x and then we create an equation and solve it. So literally using the idea of what the area of the triangle formula tells us, we can replace everything we know to find out the value of x. So they're telling us that the area is equal to 2.5. They're telling us that the base length is x, and they're telling us the vertical height, the perpendicular height, is x, take away 2. So simplify this down, and so we have 2.5 is equal to a half times, well, x times x is x squared, and x times negative 2, x times negative 2 is negative 2x. Okay, so if we double up, that will get rid of the half. So we have 5 is equal to x squared, take away 2x. And it says find the perimeter of the triangle, give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. So it's not going to be a case of just finding a nice whole number. So we need to rearrange this and solve it. It's a quadratic equation, so we're going to make it equal to 0. So we end up with x squared, take away 2x, bring the 5 across by taking it away, equals 0. And we're then going to solve this. So it says 3 significant figures, so it's unlikely to factorise. 5 and 1, not going to give you negative 2, so it's not going to factorise. So we're going to use the formula, or we're going to complete the square, whichever way you like to do this kind of thing. We'll use the formula though. So x is equal to, when it's a quadratic equation, equal to 0, then to find x it's going to be, because of the format ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, then x is equal to negative the b value plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So we basically put in our values, so we know that a is worth 1, b is worth negative 2 and c is worth negative 5. Be really careful with the minus signs in front that you interpret them correctly as negative numbers. So negative 2 for the b value and negative 5 for the c value. So x is equal to negative, and because we're substituting negatives, always put them in brackets, particularly when you put them in calculators, plus or minus the square root of negative 2 squared, take away 4 times the a value times the b value, all over twice the a value. Okay, so we've got calculators. Let's calculate paper. So it's a fraction. So it's negative the b value. So it's negative bracket negative 2. Close bracket. We'll do the positive one first, so the plus one first. Because it says plus or minus, then we've got to do the plus version and then we do the minus version. The reason for that, of course, remember quadratics typically have 2 solutions because of the way the graph crosses the x-axis. Won't always have 2 solutions, of course. It has a maximum of 2 solutions. So we're doing plus the square root bracket negative 2, close bracket, squared, take away 4 times 1 times bracket negative 5, close bracket, and come down, and I don't need to do 2 times 1, I can just put 2, because 2 times 1 is 2, and press equals. Okay, it wants the answer to 3 significant figures, so I need to change that into a decimal. So x will equal 3.4. Now 3 significant figures means that I go from the first non-zero digit, 1, 2, 3. The 9 is the 4th significant figure. Well, it's 5 or more, so it's making it halfway up. So we change that to a 5. So 3.45. Or, and because we've got these modern calculators with the replay key, then we can just go in and replace the plus before the square root to take away. Press equals, and again change that back in, and again to 3 significant figures it will be negative 1.5 for, again, fourth semi figure is 5 or more, so the third one will go up by 1, so negative x. So that is x found. Now it wants you to find the perimeter of the triangle, so we've got to remember that we replace x with the value we found. Now we can't use negative values for x because it's length, so working out that negative value there was not a waste of time, because it could have been two positive numbers, of course, but it tells us we can ignore that one. So basically we come back to this triangle and we can replace that with 3.45, and this one we're doing 3.45, take away 2, so that'll be 1.45. Now it wants the perimeter, so that means we've got to work out this. It's a right angle triangle, so it's going to be Pythagoras. And we need to remember about Pythagoras that hypotenuse is always the longest side. So we need to remember that the hypotenuse is always the longest side, and that's where c squared has to be on the right hand side of the Pythagoras rule. So we end up with 1.45 squared plus 3.45 squared equals, so 1.45 squared plus 3.45 squared equals, so 14.005. Now because that's equal to c squared, then we need to square root to get the final answer, so square root answer equals, so 3.74. So we now know that that's 3.74. So the final answer to this question then, because they wanted the perimeter, is going to be these three lengths added together. So the perimeter equals 1.45 plus 3.45 plus 3.74. So we've got 3.74 plus 3.45 plus 1.45 equals, so 8.64 centimetres. The question was about square centimetres, so the answer will be x. That's what the perimeter will be then. Okay, so the way that question works then is we had to recognise that the area of the triangle told us something. That allows us to calculate the x value. So we found the x value by using the quadratic formula. Ignored the negative value because the lengths are positive, and we used that 3.45, went back into the triangle, put the number in that we knew that we needed the hypotenuse to get the perimeter, because we want all the lengths added together for the perimeter, and that then allowed us to use Pythagoras, and then we finished off by adding up to get the final answer. 6-mark question, so hence the reason it took a bit of time.